Welcome to Southaven Business Beat, exploring business from the top of Mississippi. Business and community leaders talk with us to provide invaluable resources to aid the business community. And now, here's your host, Aaron Cozort.
Hello and welcome to Southaven Business Beat. I'm Aaron Cozort with Wisdom Integrators, and we're here interviewing Denise Silas. Denise, so glad to have you with us today.
Well, thank you for having me.
Denise, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am born and raised in Wisconsin, so I'm a Midwest girl. I went to school in Iowa. Currently now, I've been building a business with Mary Kay for 29 years.
Oh, wow.
This month, celebrating my 30th anniversary with my husband. We've been in this area for since 2007.
Okay.
So we've been here.
So, as you've been with Mary Kay for, you said 29 years.
Yes.
I imagine a few changes have come
Yes.
along through that period of time.
Yes.
But there's an anniversary for Mary Kay
Yes.
going on right now. Tell me a little bit about that.
So today marks the 60th year where Mary Kay opened the doors.
Oh, wow.
It was Friday the 13th, September 13th, they opened the doors, so we're celebrating 60 years.
60 years, that's
Yes.
quite an accomplishment for
Yes.
any business.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about your business with Mary Kay. Where do you find your customers? How do you provide value to them?
Wonderful. So we say anybody with skin is a potential customer for me. So I'm always putting myself in position to help somebody put their best face forward, whether it's a female or a male. So I do a lot of networking, benefit of being in the chamber.
Mm-hmm.
I get to meet a lot of people that way. Also through a lot of referrals where I find my customers. Right now we're in the season where we're in COVID,
Mm-hmm.
we did a lot of virtual. So now
Right.
we're doing both. We're doing
Right.
virtual and in person for our activities. So that makes it really gives me a great opportunity not just to be a local business, which Mary Kay traditionally was around the table.
Mm-hmm.
We see around the kitchen table, but now it lets me be anywhere on a Zoom call with 6 or 7 states represented.
That's spectacular.
Yes.
As you look at those opportunities, and especially the ones, with the Chamber, and we appreciate the Chamber for working with the podcast here, what are some of the things that you look for as you do networking to find opportunities to deepen a conversation with someone and really move beyond just, hi, how are you, tell me what you do?
Right. So good example this morning for our B2B AM. I love sitting down one-on-one and just finding out what's going on with you right now. Because we can talk and share a business card, but I love having those conversations and tell me what's significant for your business right now. How can I support you? So I think once you take the time and get to know more about other people, it opens that conversation for you to have what I call a cross-networking situation. Because you never know who I know, and I don't know who you know. So
Absolutely.
It's not just how I can sell to you, but the different services that I offer may not just be you, but the network behind you as well.
Absolutely. You think about that, relationships really, really matter
Yes.
in business. And when you take the opportunity to build relationships and not just sell to customers,
Exactly.
you have a wealth of opportunities, because then you build that relationship, but not just with them. The best customer you may ever have in your entire business may be the person they know who you never would have met without them.
Well, exactly. And the networking, and you never know where you may meet someone. I've been a part of the Chamber as an ambassador since 2009. So I've been around for a little bit. So people come and go, right?
Yeah.
But through that time, now I'm in the process of coordinating my daughter's wedding. And all of those relationships I was able to tap into for
Right.
something that had nothing to do with my Mary Kay business.
Absolutely.
So those relationships that you build, you just never know how you can use it for yourself, your family members, the community. People are always asking me, Denise, who do you know that does what? Because they know I'm connected in the community.
Absolutely. And you think about that, you become not only an authority on your own business, but you become an authority in the community on who's reliable. What can I need someone to do X, Y, and Z. Denise, who should I talk to?
Right. So it is just, and from seeing them over and over again, I was sharing with a young lady who just recently joined the chamber. I said, show up, because people get to know you. People do business with they know, like, and trust, right? So it builds that credibility for you as well.
When you when you joined the chamber, you said you've been part of the chamber for quite some time. Have things changed a lot in the Southaven community and in the business community in that time?
Yes. Debbie just reminded me when back then we had 200 members and now it's over 700. So just seeing how the community has grown with different businesses coming from the City Hall to this beautiful building, how much it has offered even additional services for small businesses like myself who work out their home, or somebody who may be coming from South Memphis, and instead of taking them all the way to Olive Branch, I can meet them here.
Absolutely.
So just seeing how the chamber itself has grown, the different businesses around, that the community. I love going to, one of the biggest things I always encourage people to do is go to the ribbon cuttings.
Yes.
Yeah, we have good B2B, AM, and PM, but those ribbon cuttings are those more intimate settings where you can meet people and learn about the businesses that are opening.
That's great advice. So you work with Mary Kay. You're also involved in a number of other things. Tell me about some of those.
Yes, so I am blessed to be over our business ministry at Brown Missionary Baptist Church. And that ministry, we started it like 2011, and then, changes over the years. COVID almost took us out, right? It took out a lot of people.
Yes.
So we just came back and revamped it. So right now that business ministry has a 3-part ministry. One is we do meetups, and so I call it the non-traditional networking. So it's always our goal at our networking events that everybody meets everybody in the room.
Okay.
So it's always like an activity that we do. Then we have what we call the mastermind portion of it, and that's where we want to empower businesses or independent professionals who want to grow. So we provide different workshops, and then we're creating a marketplace. Okay. So we have an online marketplace giving people the opportunity to create commerce and be able to build their businesses. So that's one aspect of it. So I tell people my business in the ministry is Mary Kay. So I'm able to connect people and meet a lot of people that way as well. So I do that. And then one of the other areas that I'm very, very passionate about, and I'm sure it's come from being in Mary Kay for so long, is just empowering women. So I do empowerment breakfasts. And I found myself in a season of like, what's next? And when we were coming out of COVID, and I believe there was a lot of other people in that same place.
Yes.
So I do I do 4 of them a year. We will relaunch again in December, and it's a series that I do that connect so they can build upon each other.
Right.
So just helping people put themselves in position to not be stuck. From coming from COVID, like what's next? Because you can't go back to the previous, right?
That's right.
What is going to be your new normal?
As you think about where people are at in life and where businesses are at, a lot of times we do constantly think about what has been, what we have done. It is important in life and it is important in business to be looking at what's the next thing. And you can't always be focused on the next thing. Sometimes you go be focused on the right now.
Right.
But the next thing is often the next step you need to take, the next opportunity you need to find, the next open door you need to walk through. And so as you help people think about what's next, that is empowering, because it is a reality of understanding that what is currently the state in your life, what is currently the state in your business, it doesn't have to stay where it is. There's opportunity, but you're involved in that opportunity. You actually have to take those steps and make those choices to walk through those doors.
Right, because the world around us is evolving. And we said staying the same is like going backwards. So you have to put yourself in position to be growing with everything that's changing around you. And you're right, you have to master, you're not just jumping around, but you definitely want to be aware of what's changing around you and see if it's time for me to change, especially if my business has become stagnant.
Right.
But just thinking that, I'm just going to go back to how things were. No. You have to look at the lessons learned and move forward, be able to move forward with it.
Sure. As you look at your business right now, what are some of the things that you think are impactful for people, your customers, right now?
Right now. Well, one of the big things is they say your skincare is your wellness. People are now taking better care of themselves. They're being more aware of themselves. So I love when even just having the opportunity, even teaching people how to put their best face forward, put their best selves forward. Because of course, when you feel good, about how you are appearing, that makes you be more effective.
Okay.
So that allows me to empower people in that way as well. Because if you're self-conscious about your appearance, sometimes that doesn't allow you to be as effective as you can.
Right.
So that is one of the things. And even right now, Mary Kay has a foundation that supports finding cures for cancer that impact women, as well as helping people get out of domestic violence situations.
Right.
So September is Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month.
Okay.
So I also am able to use what's passionate. My sister passed away in April 2011 from that. Thank you. And so every year I've been trying to figure out how to make people aware. So it's exciting to be in a company if that's important, to where I can bring something that's personal and bring it together. So I do an event called Feel the Teal in Your Hottest Heels for ovarian cancer awareness, and it's on September 19th, and it's always in the month of September. But that's just one, to bring awareness to women about ovarian cancer. And this year our focus is to help people to understand how to support somebody who has cancer.
Right.
And to help you just live a healthier life. So we do that. And hopefully, through this whole process, that I'm able to save a life in my sister's memory.
Sure. Where does that event take place?
So it's at our south location of Brown Missionary Baptist Church, 7200 Sweeney Road.
Okay.
And our Fill My Cup is our coffee shop there. So we'll be hosting that at 6:30 p.m. on Tuesday. You do not have to come. It's a big fundraiser as well. I support our charitable foundation, but I also support Ovarian Cancer Research Alliance.
Okay.
And then always look for a local organization to support, and it's probably going to be DeSoto Hope this year as well. So just want to help people to understand ovarian cancer and just bring awareness to understand your body.
Absolutely.
Pay attention to what's going on around you. I think a lot has happened. People, mental wellness is important.
Right.
And that's one of the areas that I'll be focusing on Tuesday as well is, are you mentally aware? Are you taking care of yourself mentally? Because that impacts your body.
Yes, it does.
It definitely impacts your body. So, and ovarian cancer is one of those cancers that are silent, and they call it the whisper cancer because it's the symptoms that it doesn't have any screening.
Gotcha.
So, when you don't have screening, diseases can't be detected without the symptoms. And the symptoms from ovarian cancer are very common that women experience on a day-to-day basis.
Right.
So if you just think, I feel bloated like I always, or I have abdominal, and don't pay attention to that, it actually could be ovarian cancer brewing in your body.
And so what are the steps someone would take, to be able to test for that? Is that something that is readily available?
So you have to really ask your doctor because because there's no screening. It's not like it's just going to be easily detected. It's one of those things that says when your body you're noticing the same thing after 2 or 3 weeks, go ask your doctor and ask them, could it be ovarian cancer? So they will go and test for that.
Gotcha.
It's not one of those, where our annual or anything like that, where they would, find it. Usually it's when 7 out of 10 women are in advanced stages by the time they are detected that they have it, diagnosed with it.
Right.
So it's one of those you really have to be aware. My sister was being treated for acid reflux, and she just kept having the problems, and they had surgery and was able to find that she had ovarian cancer.
It's important, one of the things that I think you're drawing out is, we have to pay attention.
Yes.
We have to focus on things, and that's true in business. It's true in relationships. It's true even just in our own bodies. Paying attention to the signs and the situations that are around us, making sure that we're actually, listening to almost the advice that is there. One of the things I love about the Chamber is the opportunity to meet people who have had experiences you haven't had, been places you haven't been, have learned things you don't know, and would require a decade or more of your time and effort to learn.
Right.
So one of the things that I think is valuable about the Chamber is building relationships with people who have walked streets you've never walked and experienced things you've never experienced. How have some of the relationships that you've built in the Chamber impacted your business?
Definitely. So I have an example with maybe not being impacting my business so much, but my business is Mary Kay, but my business is also Silas Family, right?
Right,
Silas
right.
Incorporated.
Right.
So I have a friend, Angela Kidd, who has a business here, and my husband's in a position about to retire. And I knew she had that knowledge. So instead of me having to go and research, I just called on a friend that already there. And I have called on people in the chamber for various reasons, even this whole wedding planning. Just to ask their, does this seem to be right? Or being able to have different people to get different perspectives
Absolutely.
from. So I've been able to do that. The relationship building of just having a small business like myself, running it out of my home, being able to tap into some of the hotels around here that was able to, because I was a chamber member, to work with me in my budget, right, to be able to do it, or to even be able to help host my family event.
Right.
And I put an emphasis on that because a lot of times people think it's just about building their business.
Right.
And the relationships, as you mentioned earlier, it's really about business, just your whole tribe, your whole empire, everything about you. And not even just for my personal family, but I think about that even when I'm just with family or friends, other people outside of my immediate family, of how it can impact. I always tell people, when my daughters were younger, they're now 20 and 26, but when they were younger in high school, they never had to go look for a job. Literally every job they've had has come from a chamber member contact.
That's right.
So those relationships matter, not just, and I say this all the time, it's not just about me building my Mary Kay business, which of course I want to build my business, right?
Absolutely.
And I have benefited from it. But those relationships go beyond, because when the business is not there or whatever, if you try to do something else, how can you still have those contacts and those relationships to continue to move forward?
Absolutely. We're going to take a break for just a moment, and we want to thank our sponsors for sponsoring this episode of Southaven Business Beat. We look forward every time we get together and every time we create another educational moment with Southaven Business Beat to being able to thank our sponsors. So here's a list of our sponsors.
Follow App. The Follow App is the long-term solution for networking, instantly connecting you to those frequently missed opportunities to find the right referral partner or new client to grow your business. Wisdom Integrators. Are you a business owner and is technology getting in the way of your business? If your computers are slow, your website is horrible, or your business needs more efficiency, then it's time to reach out to Aaron Cozort and Wisdom Integrators. Would you like to be a sponsor? Contact Debbie King at 662-342-6114 for more information. Be sure to share and subscribe for more business resources. Now back to Southaven Business Beat and host Aaron Cozort.
We want to welcome you back, and we again want to say thank you to the sponsors of Southaven Business Beat. We're here with Denise Silas. We're talking about Mary Kay, and we're talking about the efforts that you're involved in. As you look at your business experience, what are some of the things, as somebody who's run their own business out of your home, but also in interactions, small and large, what are some of the things that you think people who are starting businesses today need to be aware of? What are some of the pitfalls that you ran into or managed to navigate around that you were so glad that you got through it or got around it?
Right. One of the biggest things to remember, your current circumstances is not always going to be the final story. Like, you have to be able to push through. So as a business owner, understanding there's going to be, like you said, pitfalls. So what are you doing with that? Are you putting yourself in position to be very educated about your field? Whether it is knowing how to get customers or just knowing the ups and downs of it, so when they come, they don't hit you so hard because you were ready for them.
Right.
So being able to do that. Relationships, I cannot talk about that enough. Are you out there building relationships? Because you cannot just depend on family and friends. And that's what a lot of people think is like, okay, I know all these family and friends, and that's where it's going to build. Most of them don't have enough money to get where you're trying to go.
That's right.
Anyway, right.
That's right.
So definitely being able to build. So when I came, because I've only, like I said, been in this area for about 12 or so years, but I've been in my business longer. So when I came to this area, I didn't know anybody.
Right.
So understanding there may be times where you have to start over. Like you may have come just from a season of being up, but then being okay when the seasons is not so far up, and you have to restart it again. So having moved twice in my business to two areas I didn't know a single person. So I had to be okay with that transitional time to get myself back on my feet. So, and not think of that was the end of the story, right? And abort the mission.
Absolutely. Right? So as someone who's moved businesses from one state to another, and moved inside of a business, what are some of the things that you would do if you've just recently moved a business to Southaven?
Wonderful. That's a good question. So first thing I was trying to figure out where the people at, right? Where can I go to find people? So there's a lot of things, the different meetups. So I put myself in position to go find different clusters of people and start networking to get to know people. One of the things I think people make the mistake is they'll go to one event and then keep moving on. You got to keep going back to that event over and over again, because I am going to go up to you and say, hi, my name is Denise, until you say, hey, Denise. So that I don't have to say it first.
Right.
Because then I know you know who I am, right? So you have to continue to go to the same place over and over again. Because sometimes people say, well, I didn't sell anything there. Or it's not about you selling there. It's about you making connections, because was it the Verizon commercial? It was a commercial where the guy stood and all the people were behind them.
Right.
I look at you that way. I'm like, well, who do they possibly know that I don't know? So if I build a relationship with you and you trust me, then you're more open to then invite me to meet other people that you know, or I know about this event. And that's how, when I came to this area, I looked up on the internet, I found different places. And traditionally, chamber is not something that we use in Mary Kay. But I just was like, there's people. And there was different events that I had to figure out how to make the event. So I just realized that, okay, if I can tap into this, became a community connector for my church, and it worked out perfectly. And I just continued to show up so people then would know my name, because that was a big thing for me. If my name came across people's desks, would they know that was me?
Right.
So, and I knew that's about showing up. So I would encourage people to show up. Show up and introduce yourself. Don't just stand and then introduce you to a different person, so people know you when you come.
And I think that's one of the things that is valuable about the Southaven Chamber. Can't speak for every chamber, but I can definitely speak about this one, is that they are very focused on the success of the businesses that are a part of their membership. And so they provide a wealth of opportunities, but they also facilitate opportunities and can spread the word about opportunities and events that may be going on. And so, it is both a place to meet people, but it is also a way to get a message out. And when you look for those opportunities and you build those relationships, you have the opportunity in that to really grow your business and to grow every connection that you have, even beyond business.
Right. My pastor always says your network is tied to your net worth.
Absolutely.
So if you're not building those relationships, and it's important, and you hit on it. I love the fact that Debbie would say, let me make a soft introduction for you. And they try to get to know what you are doing so they can help you figure out, because sometimes you don't know what you don't know.
That's right.
So they try to figure out, you may want to meet this person and share with this person, because they took the time to learn about what you do. And I'm with you. I don't know what other people do, but I'm clear I know what they do around here. Right? And so everybody's excited about everybody's business. And they make us feel very comfortable, even if there's two businesses that have the same type of industry. There's no competition around here. We're not competing with each other. We're definitely completing each other. So, and they foster that type of environment so everybody feels like they're important.
When you walk into a room and you see 3 or 4 or 5 people who are in a similar industry as you, it's very easy, especially if you're new to that environment, to get discouraged and go, well, why would they choose? What you're missing is those are people who you can learn from. They may have more experience than you, or they may be somebody who can grow from you. You may have more experience than them, but in addition to that, they may be in your industry, but they may focus on this part, and they may look at that one thing that you're really good at and go, I hate doing that.
Right.
You know what? I know somebody who's great at that.
Exactly.
Let me hand that off to you. And they give you that business because it's what you're good at and it's not what they're good at.
Right.
And so it is a lot of times the ability to, and I think you said it very well, to say that, listen, this isn't competition. This is completing one another. This is providing what not everybody can't do everything. So you can help provide what people are great at to those people.
Right. And if you have the interests of them at heart, you want to provide them the best service. And they will remember that. People
Absolutely.
definitely remember that, is that you thought enough to say that that's not something I'm good at, but let me refer you. And it's better to be able to have somebody to refer than to say, I just don't do that.
Right. Because
Right?
now you've created a barrier in that relationship as opposed to providing an open door.
Right. And then they will remember that you helped me find something. So maybe later on they may need your particular service, or know somebody else that needs your particular service because you thought enough of them to help them find the service that you did not offer.
Absolutely.
So I'm a big believer of making connections, understanding, and meeting as many people as I can so I can be a resource. So at some point people see me more valuable than just if I sell Mary Kay or if I do the empowerment breakfast or whatever. That may not be their thing per se, but because I was resourceful, if they hear something, now it's something that they can help me, then they would think of me first as a result of it.
That's great. So as you as we get toward wrapping up, what are some of the things that you love most about the Chamber?
I love the relationships. I call them my ambassador buddies. That's one of my most favorite programs. I have met some very amazing people, and I love how we support each other. So it's even beyond just the staff here, like Debbie and Kristen and Sierra and Rachel. Is beyond them, and Shawnee is what they create for us to then build relationships through other people. So that's been one of my favorite things to do. And I love how we love each other beyond our businesses. So, we have conversation about my daughters. The joke now is with me in this wedding. Like, they know and they care enough to ask.
Right.
So being able to have those relationships, we have, I heard this may be. So, like, we're really building that cross-network, because I'm big on cross-networking.
Yes.
Of knowing how, because I just never know who may need your services.
That's right.
So
right.
I want to be able to provide that. So my they're active in getting to know, they as in the staff, getting to know and I've watched them with other people, so I know it's just not me because I've been here forever.
Right.
So I've watched them with other people do
Right.
it. So I know that's where their heart is. Or if I'm meeting somebody and they said, yeah, I'm excited. I just had a conversation with them and they sat down with me to get to know.
Yes.
So that's what I love about the Chamber, and being able to have a variety of activities for a variety of different people. Some people will come to the Red McCundy, some people will come to the B2B AM, some people will, so I love how they try to make sure that when they come, that people are getting benefit from it.
Well, Denise, it has been great to have you on Southaven Business
Thank
Beat.
you.
It's been great to hear about your business with Mary Kay and all of the things that you're involved in, and hopefully that has inspired others to get more involved in things that really matter. And we hope that the event on Tuesday goes really well.
Thank you.
And hopefully we can highlight that and help that even grow and blossom into more.
Wonderful. I appreciate it. Thank you for the time.
You're welcome.
The opportunity.
And thank you for joining Southaven Business Beat. We look forward for you joining us every time that we have an additional episode of Southaven Business Beat. And we hope that you'll utilize the Chamber and the events that are around this area to grow your business.
Please visit www.southavenbusinessbeat.com for more episodes. We would like to thank the following sponsor: Pure Focus Media. Have an event coming up? Let us capture all the moments that will create memories that will last a lifetime with our professional photographer and videographer. Also announcing our new digital selfie photo booth. Book with us today. This podcast is brought to you by the Southaven Chamber of Commerce. We know relationships create commerce. Want to join the Southaven Chamber? Visit www.southavenchamber.com. Be sure to share and subscribe. Thanks for watching.